Hello students, welcome to your science class. So you all know we are learning chapter 15 Air Around Us chapter from your NCERT science textbook. We have almost reached to the end of this chapter. Let's proceed and learn few more facts about air. Let's have a quick recall of what concepts we have understood in this chapter. We have seen introduction to this chapter. We learned the fact that air is present everywhere around us. We also learned that air is not only one substance, but it is made up of mixture of substances or gases like water vapor, nitrogen, oxygen, carbon dioxide, dust, smoke, etc. Recently, we started to understand how does oxygen become available to animals and plants that live in water and soil. Let's learn more facts about this topic even today. How does oxygen become available to animals and plants living in water and soil? We all know as air is present everywhere and it can penetrate into any porous substance. In the previous chapters, we learned that air in water or oxygen in water is available to all animals and plants living in the water in the form of dissolved oxygen. These animals have adapted their body organs to inhale the dissolved oxygen present in water during respiration. We know many small, tiny microorganisms, worms, snakes, beetles, even rabbits, etc., animals live inside the soil by forming holes or burrows in the soil. How do you think that these animals get air for respiration? Let us understand this concept by knowing an activity. For that, take a lump of dry soil, which is usually not plowed, into a beaker or a glass. Add some amount of water to it and observe the changes you see and note them down. What do you see? Can you observe the bubbles coming out from the soil? These bubbles coming out from the soil indicate that air is present in soil. Like I have already explained, the bubbles you observe is due to the air present in the soil. It's the space is now occupied by water and the air in the soil gets mixed up with the water and raise up to the surface in the form of bubbles. Similarly, when the soil is porous or gets wet, the air present in the soil is replaced either by water or continuous flow of air. And the air that comes out of the soil is actually respired by the organisms present in the soil and also by the plant roots. Here in the image you can see that of all the composition of soil, it is usually porous and 25% of it is occupied by air. You know, a lot of our animals live in soil by making burrows and holes in it. Like rabbits, platypus, beetles, snakes, earthworms, etc. Even all these animals most of the time move in and out of the soil for more air present on the land surface than in the burrows. When there are heavy rains, the rainwater occupies all these spaces, burrows and holes in the soil, filling them completely and forcing the animals living in the soil to come out onto the surface for respiration. And that is why we see many earthworms on the soil surfaces filled, uh, which come out due to the soil spaces filled with rainwater, completely filled with rainwater. You all might be getting a doubt. If we are rapidly increasing the populations of the living beings on Earth, does it not alter the amount of oxygen that is being available on Earth? Then what is responsible for the balance of oxygen levels on Earth? And the answer would be plants. How is oxygen in the atmosphere replaced is our question. Plants not only prepare food but directly or indirectly they are even preparing the oxygen by photosynthesis to all the animals present on the earth. We know the process of photosynthesis, right? In this process, the plants with the help of sunlight, water, chlorophyll and carbon dioxide produce their own food. And along with that, oxygen is also produced as an end product. And this oxygen is consumed by animals. Not only animals, but even plants undergo the process of respiration, which involves the inhalation of oxygen, but the ratio of producing oxygen by plants through photosynthesis is far more compared to the oxygen utilized by the plants during respiration. So it is so clear that animals are completely dependent on plants for oxygen, without which they cannot live. And it is also clear that plants are dependent on animals for carbon dioxide for photosynthesis, without which the plants can also not live. So the balance of air with respect to oxygen and carbon dioxide is maintained in the atmosphere by both plants and animals by the process of respiration and photosynthesis. So both plants and animals are interdependent on each other. Now, after understanding all these things, all the concepts, we can say that how air is very important for life on earth. Other than the use of air for life on earth for plants and animals, are there any other uses of air? Yes, of course, there are many. Do you know about a windmill? For what purpose it is used? How does it work? A windmill has large fans fixed to it, which rotates with the force of wind. The windmill is used for many purposes, to draw water from tube wells or to run the floor mills, and the wind energy can actually be converted into electrical energy with the use of a windmill. Other uses of air or wind are it helps in movement of sailing yachts which sail along the direction of wind. Even the gliders, parachutes and aeroplanes also work or move with the movement of air. The terrestrial animals like birds, bats, insects, all these can only fly due to the presence of air. The reproduction in plants can be seen mainly due to the moving air or wind, which help in dispersal of the pollen grains and seeds. And you all know water vapor being the component of air, air plays an important role in water cycle also. So here we complete this chapter, students. Thank you.